Hello, hello, everybody. What's up? What's going on? Get on up in here. Join me. It is your girl, Jamie Drew, with thegirlfriendexperience.org, and I am here with another episode of the Girlfriend Experience Classroom. So, we like to have fun in here. So make sure you comment. You saw the title. These are pro tips for 2020 professionals. And this can go beyond 2020. This can go forward and backwards. But this is for people who are professionals in their career, looking to be winners in life. Every time I do a class, I'm always talking to the winners. So get your pen and paper, jot down a couple of notes, and we're going to get right into this thing. So I love the number 7, so I did 7 tips, but then I thought of something else. So I said, dang, well, I guess I have to give y'all a bonus. So I have 8 tips, and I hope you got your water because, we like to stay hydrated. Today I have mango lemonade. This is from one of my favorite restaurants right now, Rawtopian Bliss. If you live in Columbia, South Carolina, you need to get some food from Rawtopian Bliss. Most of the stuff is raw. All of the stuff is vegan, and it's organic as well, and it's divine, okay? So anyway, please do not forget to share this video, okay? If you're watching me on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification so that you can be notified every single time I make a new video. This class today is brought to you by Shabam, my painting as usual. This one is called Bold, and it is still for sale. As you can see, it's not packaged up, ready to go to anybody. And you can check that out on my website, thegirlfriendexperience.org/shop. All right, so let's get right into this. If you have any other tips that you want to give people, please let me know. Comment below. I love to hear your tips as well, but these are just a few. Now, number 1 is the biggest one that I want to talk about because it's something that I have personally made a mistake with in my career before, and plenty of other people I know have made this mistake in their career before. When you get offered a job, listen, y'all, I have to make sure this other phone volume is down. I can't let it interrupt us. When you get offered a job, when they give you the offer and they tell you what the salary is going to be, you need to always counter offer. Always counter, okay? That is, if you click off right now, then you're good. Because that is a tip that everybody needs to know, especially for us folks in the Black community, because we have this thing in our past where, we've been oppressed, we've gone through things. I don't have to go through it all. If you watch me, you know what's up. And we have this mentality sometimes where we feel like we have to be grateful for what we were offered or what we were given. And you need to get out of that mindset. If you've been in that mindset, you need to get out of that mindset right now because it's time to know your value. Okay? When you know your value, you will be even more comfortable with countering the dollar amount that they have offered you, especially if you feel like you are worth more, okay? What is the worst that's going to happen is they're going to say no, and then you need to decide whether or not you're going to take the job anyway. But if you counter offer, you can get yourself another $5,000 potentially where you wouldn't have gotten it before. A closed mouth doesn't get fed. So this is the thing that you need to know. When employers ask you, when you're doing an interview or something, when they ask you what kind of salary you're looking for, that is the point where they're sizing you up. They already have a budget in mind. Trust me, been there, done that. I've been on the other side of the interview table. There's already a budget in mind. There's either a specific dollar amount or there is a range depending on the person's education level and experience, or wiggle room for counter offers, okay? Some employers will take you for as low as you will give up, and there could be a $5,000, $10,000 range, and you're giving up on money that you could have asked for, okay? And they would have easily given it to you if they felt like you were a good enough catch. Now, this can be very intimidating to do because you're like, I want this job. I don't want anything to go wrong. I want to say yes, yes, yes. When can I start? You know what I mean? I want to leave a good impression. I haven't even started with these people yet, and I'm asking for more money. This is the time to do it. Because once you get hired, that's it. That's it. You don't have to wait at least another year for any types of raises or bonuses or anything like that. So you want to, right when they offer you that position, and when they tell you what the salary is, you don't feel like that's what you're worth, or even if it is what you feel like you're worth, ask for another $2,000, $3,000, up to $5,000. I mean, depending on the position, especially if you know the range and you know that you did not get the top of that range or the middle of that range. Start to know your value. That way employers can know your value. Let me tell you, I've had some very smart friends over the years, okay? Still have one of my good friends. He, every so often at his job, he will go put out his feelers and see what's out there in the world. When he gets another job offer, he goes to his current job and says, listen, this is what they're offering me. What can you do? Because sometimes when you are in a position or with one company for a while, they start to take advantage of that. The market is growing and growing and growing, and your salary is not growing as fast. So go on out there and see what your value is from another company, and you may be surprised to find out that you're worth $5,000 or $10,000 more. And your job, if they really value you and don't want to lose you, and if they have the budget to support more, then they may give you more for you to stay. So remember that is so important. I know it's one of those hard things to do, but it is a worth it thing to do if they do say yes to you. And just think, they're not gonna rescind the job offer just because you've asked for more money. Okay? If they say, okay, the salary is gonna be $50,000, you say, well, I was thinking more along the lines of 55. And tell me, is there any wiggle room in you all's budget for additional funds? Because I actually am an award-winning national award-winning speaker, and I think I deserve a little bit more for my expertise in this and that. And whatever it is that you want to say, you can figure it out. Soup it up how you need to soup it up. But always, always counter, because the worst that they can say is no. They're not going to say, well, hey, Jamie, we did like you and want to offer you this position, but now we're going to take it back because you counter offered. No, they're going to either tell you they can, or they're going to tell you they can't, or they're going to say, oh, let me get back to you. It's as simple as that. You can even lie and say, hey, I have another offer on the table and they're offering me this, but I really, really, really want to work with you all. Is there any wiggle room in your budget? I'd love to work with you all so much. Something like that. Whatever it, make it up, okay? People have been making up stuff for years. You can tell the truth. You can make it up. Whatever it is you want to do, as long as you counter, okay? Always, always, always counter offer, all right? So let's move along to our next tip. And if you got questions, put them in the comments below. I love to answer questions. Share this video, okay? Please share this video. There's people out there that need to know this, okay? All right, so number 2, you need to watch how you talk to people in your work environment. It's always important to keep a positive attitude and a positive demeanor so that people remember this about you. They remember the feeling that it is that you bring to them, whether or not they're your direct supervisor or your direct subordinate. Remember how it is, and especially with emails. So my second tip is to soup up your emails for best results. Sometimes I send emails to people and they send me back, yes, period. Or no, period. I'm like, come on, that leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I'm like, well, were you too busy to type a full sentence or whatever? Soup it up. Or, hey, happy Thursday. I hope everything is well. I just want to check in on this particular project. We had a deadline of this and that. Where are we with it? Just give a few more words, a little bit more conversation. Everything doesn't have to be long and drawn out. You can still be quick and brief and precise and to the point and efficient, because we all know you want to be efficient at your job. But soup up your emails a little bit more, because, especially for those of you all who are in small towns or small tight-knit industries, okay? For instance, my sister is a nutritionist, dietetic nutritionist. And, her career field, there's a very small pool of people in it. So for her, she has to remember that even if she leaves a particular position, she could end up running into these same folks in her career down the line because there's not that many people in it across the country or in her particular area or whatever it is, okay, or in her particular city. So you have to remember that this is a part of you building bridges and not burning bridges and building rapport with people. You never know where somebody's going to end up. And you never know where you're going to end up. You never know who's going to be your supervisor next, or who's going to be hiring you next. Or if you do things on the side, you do workshops or seminars or things like that, or you sell things or whatever it is, you never know who you're going to run into. So you're going to want to make sure you maintain these relationships. And even if you don't have close working relationships with people, make sure you soup up those emails so that the little that they do remember about you is the way you presented yourself in your email. And it's especially important nowadays because we're not in face-to-face meetings. We're not passing each other in the hallway. Everything is pretty much virtual. And so we are emailing a lot more than we ever used to. And so since that's the case, it's so important. Just be nice and soup up your emails. Okay? Just think of it as, this can possibly get me money in the future. You've got to be having a money mindset at all times, okay? If I send this nice email today, 5 years from now, when that person is in a different position and I am as well, and they're sitting across from me and I'm interviewing with them on a panel, they might remember that souped up email, okay? So that is tip number 2. I'm trying to get y'all elevated, okay? And these are things that I have learned myself over the years, or I have learned from other people, or that I deal with other people in a work environment. So you can definitely trust what it is that I have to say, okay? Make sure you share this video right now. Share this video on your page. Send this link to somebody you love, because there's a lot of people out there that they just don't even realize how important some of these little things are, okay? Now, tip number 3 is to let them see what kind of work you do outside of your regular job. Now, I know a lot of you do not like to be Facebook friends with your coworkers or your supervisors and things like that. And I definitely understand that. Trust me, I get it. It's weird. You want your private space. It's awkward. What if you post something that's not work friendly, whatever, but if you're a person who doesn't post your personal business on Facebook or, social media, things like that, then feel free to friend these people, where you're not giving, putting out very opinionated personal opinions, or talking about your significant other, things like that, keeping it PG, keeping it to where you don't mind that other people know your business. So if you have a public Facebook page, or if you have a page where you don't mind other people knowing what it is that you have going on, then that can be of value to you, because you never know who's watching you. I remember when I used to be in college, me and my friends used to do this all the time, especially me, because I just thought it was so cool and so interesting. Yeah, I'm that weird kid that does social experiments that people aren't aware that I'm doing a social experiment on them. And what I used to do is sit in the cafeteria. This is at Morgan State University. Shout out to my alma mater, Morgan State, baby. HBCU in the house. Okay. So, class of 2004. All right. I used to sit in the cafeteria. And it's a big cafeteria. We call it the REFAC. Sit in the big cafeteria, and I would pick somebody to stare at that was way across the room. And I would just watch everything they were doing, figure out what they were doing, watch them eating, watch them laughing, talking to their friends. Whatever it is, I was watching that person. I was like, oh my goodness, this person has no idea I'm staring at them. I wonder if they will ever notice that I'm looking at every single thing they're doing. Oh my goodness, like that person just dug their nose, they just picked their butt. Whatever it is, I was watching it. And that was my little social experiment. And that really taught me, oh my gosh, you have no idea who's watching. I have no idea who's watching me right now. I have no idea who's in this room watching me right now. So I give you that example just to let you know that that person at your job or that person that you interact with in your career could find value in some of the extracurricular things that you do. Do you write? Do you paint? Do you dance? Do you sing? Whatever it is, you never know who's going to forward your next message, who's going to share your next message, who's going to tag you somewhere, who's going to tell somebody about you that may bring some coins Because that's what this is all about, okay? That's everything I'm telling you is to help you elevate in your career, elevate in your life. You know, even if you're not working a regular 9 to 5, these are things that you can take value with you in your business if you want to start your own business or whatever it is. These are things to get your mind jogging, to get you thinking, to get you to know your value and to recognize that that next coin, you know, what you're doing right now might not get you a coin today, but it might get you a coin 3 years from now, or it might get you a coin 6 months from now, it might get you a coin 2 days from now. You never know, okay? So let them see what you do on the exterior. Now, here's the thing. This is the one thing I have to say about letting them see what you do in the exterior. If you're going to let, especially your supervisors and things, see what you do on the exterior, you better make sure that you are a stellar employee, okay? You can't be half-assing it and, you know, not turning in reports and not doing what you're supposed to do and not following up and not responding to emails and, you know, not being an A+ employee, okay? Staff member, coworker, colleague, whatever you want to call yourself. If you're not being A1, it's going to look like those things that you do outside of the office are a distraction, okay? And that might blow up in your face. Okay, especially if you're trying to bring that stuff to work. Now, that's definitely a no-no. Do not bring your products to work to sell to people. That is a conflict of interest. Okay, so have your little side conversations, you know, after you get out of work or whatever, depending on whatever your company policy is and how it is that you're allowed to talk to people about what it is that you do on the side. But it's okay. Listen. The point I'm trying to make is for you to tell the world what it is that you do, okay? Closed mouths don't get fed. You will never get a customer. You will never get a client if you don't open your mouth and let people know what your expertise is, okay? And so you never know where a coworker may lead you and who may say, oh, you know what, Jamie Drew does that. Boom, you got an extra coin, okay? All right, so let's move along. How we looking on time? We looking good on time. All right. Tip number 3 is, I'm sorry, that was tip number 3 already. Tip number 4 is late and right over on time and wrong. Okay? Now, when you think about a report, a paper, whatever, something that has a deadline that you have to turn in. If you turn it in, now I'm not talking about, listen, y'all high schoolers in there, they take points off when you turn it in late, so turn it in on time, okay? Get your points. I'm talking about in a work environment where you're not assigned points, but it's very important for you to turn these things in a timely fashion. It is better for you to ask your supervisor, hey, can I have just one more day to get this done? Or, hey, you know, when you send me particular items that you want done, you know, let me know, give me a deadline that's actually earlier than the deadline that you actually needed. You know, don't be afraid to ask for that or make up your own earlier deadline so that you have time to get it done right. But the point is, getting it done right is the main thing, because if you get it done wrong and on time and turn it on, here you go, supervisor person. Here's my report. Super on time, but it's wrong. It's wrong. It's missing information. It's incomplete. Well, guess what? You got to go back and do it again, or you go back and finish it. So that means that it's late anyway, right? If it's wrong and you turn it in on time, it's still late because it's not right. Okay? So take the time to get it done right. And if you are going to have the nerve to turn it in late, you better ask permission. If you're going to have the nerve to turn it in late, then have the nerve to turn it in right. Don't be late and wrong. Don't have the double whammy against you, okay? So my point is, I would rather you turn in something a little bit late, still timely now, don't go overboard, and don't do this all the time. A little bit late and correct, okay? Let's move on to tip number 5. How y'all feeling about these tips? Let me know. Let me know how you, I saw a couple of thumbs up. I like that. Give it a like, give it a share, give me a love, make a comment. If you have a story, let me hear your story. All right, so tip number 5 is that leaving late will get you nowhere, okay? Listen, you being the last one in the building to lock up and all that stuff every single day, that's not going to get you any extra money unless your job pays overtime and you trying to soak up that overtime or something or whatever, okay? But just being there, sitting at your desk late and being the last one out just so you can show somebody, oh, hey, look, I'm here to the very end. No, I got coworkers that leave. Listen, over the years, if the office closes at 5 o'clock, they might leave at 4:59, or they walking out the door. They out the door at 5 o'clock. Why? Because they know they got their work done and they know their value. They know that they don't have to stay late. Now, every now and then you're going to have to stay late. Okay? Every now and then, especially if you have important job, you got things to do, great. But if you are doing it just to appear busy or just to look like, listen, your supervisor knows, people know your work. What kind of work are you turning in? See, that's the main concern. What kind of work are you turning in? Is it timely? Is it professional? Is it neat? Is it accurate? Are you an asset to your company? That's what they're looking for. They're not worried about you staying late, trying to look good. No, come on time and leave on time. Simple as that. And they can't ask you for anything more, okay? Well, some jobs can, but you get what I'm saying, all right? That is the thing. That is the way you want to stand out. You want to stand out for your work, not for being the last bird there all the time, okay? That's tip number 5. Tip number 6. We got 8. Remember, just a few more, okay? Tip number 6 is to say yes to classes and training, okay? I believe I talked about this in another video, but you want to advance your career. You want to grow. You want to have a bank of knowledge so that you can be the one that's called upon. Because remember, I said the more value that you can add to somebody else or somebody else's system, then the more money you can command, okay? And this goes right back into your counter offer. Because you have picked up on all those certifications, classes, training, skills, workshops, and everything, take advantage of that, especially if it's something that your company is paying for. If it's something that your company is paying or reimbursing you for, then definitely take advantage of that. It is so important to take advantage of that free training. They got it in their budget, so why not? Okay? Or if it's a cheap class that you got to pay $50 for, but you know it'll enhance your career, then go ahead and do it. Okay? That's important to take you to the next level. All right, let's move along. We're moving and we rolling. Number 7 is thank people for the things that they are supposed to do anyway. Now, this is a tip that I love. I love this, y'all. And this is just not for the work environment. This is with you and your significant other. This is your friends, siblings, family members, cousins, kids. Yes, even your kids. Okay, thanking people for the things that they are already supposed to do, praising them for doing giving them a cookie is what I like to call it. It motivates them to do it more. Okay, so whether this is work environment or not, but especially in the work environment, you go ask your supervisor, hey supervisor, what's 1 plus 2? Well, Jamie, it's 3. Thank you. Okay, yes, this is your supervisor. They're supposed to help you, but be thankful. Oh, you know what? I turned in this work, and I just want to see if I could turn it in to you, get your feedback on it. Oh, sure, Jamie, you can get my feedback. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Say thank you for stuff that is regular, commonplace in the work environment. When you are grateful for a thing, period, this goes beyond the work environment. When you are grateful, when you show gratitude, you will get more of that thing. It's like you're telling the universe, hey, I want more, I want more. I want more success, I want more happiness, I want more love, I want more support, I want more guidance. Okay, I want more yeses in my life, I want more training and workshops, I want more money. Okay, so be thankful for those things and make sure you verbally show that you are appreciative to those people in your surrounding work environment that are your team, that help you out, that pat you on the back, that are your coworkers, that are your team. Okay. Now, my last tip, I like all my tips. Okay, I was gonna say last tip is one that I really like, but no, all of my tips are ones that I really like. But this is tip number 8. This is your bonus tip right here. Update your resume often, very often. And I don't mean between jobs. I mean while you're still at the job that you absolutely love. You love this job so much you can't see yourself going anywhere. Update your resume anyway. Not only because you may be leaving one day, but because you need to be recognizing, you need to remember, you need to highlight what it is that you do and what you have done. Okay? It needs to go on your resume, either as a bullet point or as a highlight or as a position or whatever it is. You may have multiple positions within your job that you do, but you don't even realize it because you're so used to doing it. But if you look down for a minute, you may realize that this is not on your resume. And you know, oh, I am skilled. I got this. I've been doing this. But then you apply for that job and they don't hire you. And you're like, what? I was the best bet. I thought I was a shoo-in. Well, it wasn't on your resume. Okay? And they don't know you like that. And so you better put it on your resume. For instance, I just recently did a fundraiser for United Way. My co-chair and I raised raised $50,000. Okay? Best believe that's going on my resume, baby. Best believe. What? Campaign director, okay? Raising $50,000 for a fundraising campaign. I have to put that down. Is it a part of my everyday job? No, it's not. So you typically would not even think of putting something like that on your resume, but you've got to do it. It's a skill that you've picked up. It's something that you've done. It's something that stands out. It's something they could be looking for you to do in the next position. And it's a reminder for you to look down at that resume and say, well, I'm accomplished. I've grown. So when it's time for you to have your review, your annual review, or it's time for them to consider you for a raise or promotion, you know what it is that you're bringing to the table because they may make you reapply. Raise your hand if you reapplied at your own company. Okay? And this is reapplying for jobs at your own company, whether they're doing a restructuring and you have to reapply for your own job, or you're reapplying for a job, applying for a job where you want to get a promotion or something different, a different move in your career. This is going to be the hardest thing you ever do because these people already know you. They already know you. They're already used to working with you. You cannot lie about anything on your resume in the interview or whatever. And so you need to find ways to make yourself stand out. And they're not going to remember every little thing you do. You think people remember that I was Employee of the Year back in 2018, especially the people who weren't even at my job yet? No. So guess what? I'm going to put that on my resume as a highlight because I need to remember it and I may forget if I don't update often. And who's going to know if I don't put it down on paper? They're not gonna dig pre-interview. See, by the time you get to an interview, they've already decided, hey, I like this person. Let's confirm. Let me see what they really know in person. Let me see if it's all, that's cracked up to be on the resume. They've already halfway made their decision towards hiring. Okay? But you're not even gonna make it to the interview pile if you forget these little things. Okay? And it's easy to forget what you're doing when you're wrapped up in your job every day and you're so used to doing it, especially if you're at a job that you love. Don't be at a job for 20 years just updating your resume. Don't, because you're going to forget all the little things along the way that you did. Okay? So it's important every month, every 6 months, whatever, write down, jot it down what you did. Jot down what you did. And then if you don't know what to call it, then go and Google some stuff and you'll find some copies of some people's resumes and things like that. Okay? So all of these things are to help you to elevate to the next level and get those coins that you deserve and live a fulfilled life that you want to live. Okay? So let's go back over these 8 tips again because you're going to need to write these down. Number 1 is always counter. Always counter offer. Oh, well, Jamie, we would love to offer you the position at $50,000. Well, I was thinking more along. I have another job on the table. They're offering me $53,000. You think you could match that? Just curious. Okay. Number 2, soup up your emails for best results. Don't be a nasty Nancy in the emails. Okay. Be nice in the emails. You can be firm, but don't just give people one-word answers in the email. Okay. Number 3, let people see what it is that you do outside of work. Your work may not be the end all be all, may not be the end of the road for you. Let people see what your passions are because you never know who is going to get that word of mouth going for you. Okay? Late and right is better than on time and wrong. Okay? Ask your supervisor for an extension, a couple of days or whatever it is, so that you can get that work done correctly. Because remember, if you turn it in wrong and on time, it's still late. Okay? Number 5 was leaving late will get you nowhere. You don't have to be the last one in the building all the time. Be efficient. Okay? Look up the definition of efficient. Okay? You don't have to stay late to be efficient. Maximize the use of your time. Okay? Make it a useful use of your time. Okay? That's being efficient. Say yes to classes and travel was number 6. Classes, travel, workshops, seminars, whatever it is, say yes. Go. Get more education. Be a lifetime learner. Be the resource for somebody that says, oh, Jamie knows everything. Just go ask her, okay? You will be the next one to get a promotion. You will be the one that they think of when it's time to be on boards and committees and decision making, okay? You will be the one that they think of if you do that. All right, number 7 was to thank people for things that they're supposed to be doing, okay? You want a cookie? Yes, they want a cookie. People like praise, pats on the back. They like to be recognized. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for doing the things that you're already supposed to be doing. Your staff member turned in a report. Thank you. This is awesome. Give people the praise and the support that they want. It'll take you a long way. Trust me, it will bounce back to you like a boomerang, and it'll be so much worth it, okay? And number 8, finally, last but not least, is to update your resume very often. Every time something happens, every time you work on a side project, every time you volunteer for something, you need to update your resume because you will forget. And when it's crunch time, when it comes down to dollars and cents, all of those little things matter, okay? Especially if you're going to be counter offering, okay, your salary. So that is it. That is all the tips that I have for tonight. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. Once again, share this video. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Girlfriend Experience LLC. And please check me out on thegirlfriendexperience.org, especially /shop, baby. And get yourself an original one-of-a-kind painting. If you haven't purchased a painting yet, what's going on? Okay? Send me an email. Tell me to send you I can't even talk now, to paint you something special. Okay, look through the gallery. I've had people do this. They look through the gallery, they see something they like, it's sold. I can recreate something similar. Okay, I can give you something just what you want, but just check it out. thegirlfriendexperience.org /shop or anything at all on thegirlfriendexperience.org. All right, well, that is all I have for you tonight. Until next time, peace and blessings.